What's up YouTube? Jeff back again from DopeTechDaily.com. Today I'm bringing you guys an unboxing and size comparisons video for the Casio ProTrek smartwatch. This is the WSD F20 with Android Wear 2.0. Now the reason I'm doing this video is because last year I did the WSD F10 from Casio and it got a ton of views. People were really interested in it, and since there aren't very many people covering this watch, I thought I would cover it again this year. Now the watch does retail for $500. It's definitely a niche product. It's not going to be for everyone. This is sort of an outdoor smartwatch, not something that you're going to buy if you're just looking for your everyday notifications from Android Wear. This is what it looks like when you open up the box. Now I did go ahead and already turn the watch on so I can give you guys some software impressions. I've only been using it for about an hour just so I could get used to a few of the features and talk about them. Of course, I'll do a follow-up with a full review. This is the watch itself. It's huge, as you guys can see. Little piece of plastic there. If you lift it up, there's the actual screen. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Look around at the build quality and give some size comparisons. On the inside of the box, if you take out this top tray, you're going to have some paperwork, obviously, as usual. Your warranty card, quick start guides, and then in here, we've got our power brick, Casio, and we've got our magnetic charging pin here. Now this is probably one of the most frustrating things. I don't know, it's not terrible, but it's annoying because last year I complained about how finicky this charger is. If you don't place it in the perfect spot, it falls off sometimes. It goes right in here on the watch. And this thing can fall if you're just sort of sitting it on your desk and you've got it propped up on something else. It comes out pretty easily. Like if you just tap it, it'll fall right out. I had some issues with that last year. It would have been really nice to have them put something on the back where it clips on, or have one of those magnetic wireless charging docks where you have for the Moto 360 or also for the Gear S3 Frontier and Classic. So that's everything that comes in the box. Nothing too crazy. It's a pretty standard smartwatch packaging. Let's go ahead and take a look at the watch itself. As I mentioned, this is a huge watch, which we'll see in a minute with the size comparisons. There's a couple different colors, orange and black. As I said before, $500 for this watch, which is incredibly expensive. It's got a rubber strap here on the back. Last year, pretty much the same rubber strap as last year. I found it to be pretty comfortable. The watch is quite thick. It did get thinned down a little bit from last year, I think by some really very small margin, maybe like a fraction of a few millimeters. Not very impressive. It's still very thick overall. It's got several buttons on the side. You've got an app button, which you can link to any app. The top button will open up the tools, which you can then track various things, such as your altitude, pressure. You've got a compass, all of those things that you want when you're doing outdoor activities. This watch has a lot of great features built in for outdoor functionality, for anything you want to do, hiking, fishing, etc. I'll talk a lot about that in the full review. The app button on the bottom, by default, if you press it, it opens up this map looking app, which actually allows you to pin your location. So if you swipe up, you can either leave a voice memo for the location you're at, or you can mark it, and you can also see your location history. This, of course, is a great feature if you're hiking, something where you want to see where you've been and sort of mark your trail along the way. The bezel is a little bit thicker than last year, as you guys can probably tell if you watched my video last year. This is where the sensors are over here. One big feature this year that they added, people complained about last year, is it does have built-in GPS. It does not have NFC. Of course, I guess they thought maybe you don't really care about mobile payments since it's an outdoor watch. I personally would have liked to have seen NFC in here for $500. It's a little ridiculous they didn't include it. Another thing, it's 50 meters of water resistance for this particular watch. Very impressive. It does have the military 810G spec certified for ruggedness. So this watch is going to take a beating and keep on ticking. There's no doubt about that. So overall, it's pretty much what you expect. I want to show you guys some size comparisons. This is the Huawei watch. Let me just show you how it looks on wrist next to the Huawei watch. You guys can see the comparison there, just side by side. It looks pretty ridiculously huge. Let me take it off and I'll show you guys a side by side of these from the side profile. The Huawei Watch 2, Casio WSD F20, side profile just hilariously large compared to the Huawei Watch 2. Also, you can see the huge bezel on the ProTrek actually dwarfs the bezel on the Huawei Watch 2, which a lot of people were complaining about. We've also got the TAG Heuer. This is one of the watches I have which can probably come closest to it in size and thickness. Of course, the TAG Heuer is one of my few watches that also eclipse the WSD F20 in terms of price. The TAG Heuer at $1,700. But overall, the Casio is still much larger. We've got the LG Watch Urbane 2 LTE. You guys can see the side profile there. It's much thicker, and I would consider the LG Urbane 2 LTE to be one of the larger Android Wear watches out there. One thing I will say though is LG's bands are always really stiff. The bands on the Casio WSD F20 are not that stiff. They're actually pretty comfortable. The LG Watch Sport from this year, another Android Wear 2.0 device. Casio, just hilariously larger than that, which is also one of the traditionally thickest watches we've seen so far this year. And then two watches that are just going to be dwarfed. This is the LG Watch Style, obviously not supposed to be a large feature-packed watch. And then lastly, the Apple Watch Series 2, which also is just going to be tiny compared to the Casio WSD F20. All right, so I'm going to put a full review on this. I know, again, it's a niche audience, so let me know below what you guys want to know. A lot of the great features they had from last year made a return. For instance, you can actually turn off the Android Wear functionality and use it as just a watch. You can use timepiece mode to do that. You can change the function of the tool and the app button. Those are customizable. You can set it to a custom app, etc. There's a lot of great features on this particular watch if you do use it as an outdoor smartwatch. So let me know what you guys want to know below in the comments. I'll definitely test it out. Battery life is something I'm going to look at because they claim 2-day battery life. That's always a big sort of question as to whether or not that actually is going to happen with Android Wear 2.0. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. You can like and subscribe if you want to see future videos like this. Find me at dopetechdaily.com, Google+, Instagram, and Twitter. The link's in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.